Ever see a controller so cheap that you're almost offended on how good it looks? I looked at this thing and I was like, absolutely not. This thing can't possibly cost 20 bucks. And yet here we are, the GameSir Tegenaria Lite, a wired controller that's rocking the Hall effect sticks, mappable paddles, and a 1000Hz polling rate for the price of a takeout lunch. So this could either be a hidden gem or a glorified USB paperweight. Also, full disclosure before we start, yeah, they sent this to me free, but that just means that they actually risked hearing what I actually think. Free controller, unpaid opinion, and full honesty. Because personally, I like sleeping at night. Just so you know, at the time of this recording, this thing is sitting about $19.99 on Amazon, which makes it pretty insane. Let's get into the unboxing. All right, so let's open it up. You get the controller, a fixed USB-C-A cable, a quick card, and that's it. No wireless dongles, no stickers, no fluff. So visually, this thing looks better than it has a right to be. I mean, the colorway screams PlayStation 1 nostalgia. Gray shell, matted finish, soft contrast on the buttons, and even that tiny rainbow M at the bottom. It's got that industrial retro vibe. It literally has the design that it just makes you want to leave it next to your desk because it just looks that good next to your setup type of scenario. I'm not like really a symmetrical type of guy, but I've been kind of a Team Xbox controller for years. But man, this one's comfortable. It's wider than DualShock. The grips taper out just enough that your palms actually rest on the controller instead of around it. And the texture, GameSir calls it laser engraved. Whatever it is, it works. It's got the final grain grip that feels premium. The plastic doesn't feel cheap either. More like mid-tier Logitech or 8-bit dough territory. Truthfully, if this thing had a removable cable and wireless, you could probably convince me that it costs double. So let's talk about the inputs. These are Hall effect sticks, which means contactless sensors. So no physical friction, no stick drift. It's literally the same technology you find in $70 controllers. Movement feels smooth, perfectly centered, and there's zero wobble around the dead zone. This D-pad is shockingly good. It's one solid piece, slightly concaved. I mean, this thing is perfect for retro fighters or anything that still expects you to do a quarter or half circle. These face buttons are big, soft membranes, not really clicky, but they got that satisfying push, kind of like the 8-bit dough or the SN30 Pro. They're slightly transparent too, which gives it a whole front panel and nice layered look. So the triggers are analog with smooth tension and just enough lip for a grip. Bumpers are clicky membranes, not mechanical, but responsive. This M button is where all the brains live. Hold M plus A, B, X, and Y to swap protocols. Xbox, Switch, DualShock, or Android. You could hold M and the left bumper or the right bumper to remap those back pedals on the fly. Turbo mode is M plus any button. Vibration strength is M plus the start or the select button. You could even change the color of the M button LED. So it's all hardware level. You don't need software or drivers, which is kind of rare at this price point. So in-game, it feels snappy, and that 1000Hz polling rate just means that input latency is basically zero. I mean, you press it and it happens. For shooters and micro-aiming, it just feels tight. For retro games, indie games, the D-pad is literally a chef's kiss. It's the kind of controller that you forget mid-session, and that's literally the best compliment I could give it to you. And just because it's wired, there's no pairing, no charging, no Bluetooth, no dropouts. Just plug it in and it works. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of the drawbacks on this, right? So, of course, it's not perfect, right? The cable is fixed, which means that if it frays, then it's kind of game over unless you know how to solder. Of course, it's wired, so couch gaming is not ideal. The buttons are membrane and not mechanical, so they're just softer than what you'd get on a Pro Pad. But none of this feels like a deal breaker for 20 bucks. And if anything, it's the most functional 20 bucks that you could spend on gaming right now. So here's where I land on this. This little gray pad isn't trying to compete with the DualSense Edge or the Elite Series 2. It's just trying to be reliable, comfortable, and stupidly good for the price. And it nails literally all three. I'd happily keep this plugged into my computer, retro rig, or even the Steam Deck dock permanently. I mean, for 19 bucks, it's not just good for the price, it's good, period. So listen, the comments are open below, so if you tried it, let me know your thoughts. Do you think wired controllers still have a place in 2025? And that's it for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care, guys.